good, YouTube? It's your boy Pre. You tune into another episode of Full Court Invest. Today we got a very special episode for you today. One of our segments, new playlist, is going to be called Inside the Locker Room Talk. And this is just pretty much where we just talk about our journey, the things that we see, or just everyday life in this new investing, lifestyle and mental growth as well. So today, I am honored to have on here today is my brother from another mother, Sham. I call him Sham, but Christian Shamberger. Um, we've been friends for a long time. Even though we wasn't friends when we was little, we basically grew up together. And I mean mentally, we definitely grew up together. So he's a person that I talk to about investing, growing, a positive influence and energy that I feel like everyone need. And I had to get him on and get him on here just to display our relationship as in investing wise too, and display his journey because everybody's journey is different. I feel like that's important to hear each everybody's journey and see what you can take a piece, a nugget from that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I say first, Sham, let's go ahead and get started and talk about a little about yourself, and we'll just go from there.
Word. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Living life,
Good.
living life.
For sure, for sure. I'm glad to be tapped in with you, bro. Let's get it.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, you just go ahead and start and talk about, I say, a little about yourself and about how you got on your investing journey.
For sure. Well, my journey was, kind of peculiar in a way. The way I kind of got started was I was working, my job, and I wasn't really, satisfied with the pay I was getting. I wasn't satisfied with the upside and the potential that was there for me in that position. And so I started to try to look for other outlets per se, for lack of a better term, to get extra income. And so I saw trading as kind of like this fantasy of, being able to work from your laptop for 2 or 3 hours throughout the day and then make all the money you need for the week, more or less. And so that fantasy, that idea of making additional income is what kind of drew me into the trading investing environment. But at that time, it was mostly just trading because I didn't know anything about investing. I was stuck on the idea of being able to trade, make the money I need, and be done. And so I got involved with a MLM platform that basically teach you how to trade, but it was also a caveat to that, to where like you would also be trying to get other individuals to learn that skill as well. And that side didn't really stick too well with me, but the trading aspect of it is what drew me, and it's what kept me, because the platform was really amazing as far as the education, as far as taking you from zero to hero or A to Z. You know what I mean? Like, that platform was really great in that. And they had a lot of individuals that were great investors, great traders that you could learn from on a day-to-day basis and get on live calls with, and that would teach you the ins and outs of the market, technicals, fundamentals. And that's kind of what got me in the space and learned me to become the individual I am today in regards to, trading, investing, and in cryptocurrency. That platform is what kind of built me up to where I am today. So that's kind of how I got my start. And although that didn't really work out for me because I'm not still in that space, I'm definitely still more so learning and developing and growing in the investment side, and still trading as well. But mostly just investing because that's the long-term game. And so that's kind of what my personal start was and how I got in the space.
A lot of times, we'll try to tell somebody about investing or, you know, but you always know it's first of all, it's a mental shift and it's a fear factor, right? Because we wasn't brought up on these type of financial literacy or even to invest or to buy assets. And even like whenever you started, is like I always knew I was supposed to be investing, But and I always tell people this is like always, no matter what you're doing, you might seem like you by yourself or whatever, but continue on your grind because you never know who's watching. You start investing and on that path before me. But it was like a little something inside me. It's like, okay, you need to be doing this too. You're supposed to be doing this too.
Right.
Whatever it is. But the fact that you did it kind of actually pushed me as well. Like, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. So I guess my question is, what was the thing or what was the moment or why did you get away from that fear factor of I'm gonna learn how to do this, I'm gonna do this, or it gotta be a better way? What because it's scary when you coming from a background of not knowing and you don't know if it's real and anything dealing with money, that's the right way. It seemed like we'll be like, kind of scared of it because we work hard for our money, so it's
Yeah.
easy harder for us to you know to take that leap. So how did you get to that point where you could take that first step? Because that's like the most important step in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely. And for some people that is the issue. You know what I mean? Like it's the first step is the most crucial step. You know what I'm saying? And then having that momentum to continue to push forward afterwards is key. But for me, man, like I've always been somewhat of a risk taker. As long as I've been able to see the upside and I can see that the upside outweighs the downside, I've always been sort of a risk taker in that regard. Um, Even whenever I moved from where I was living to a whole nother city where I didn't know anybody, I just knew that it was more opportunity, and I made that risk. I didn't have any family there. I didn't, but that was just something that I did because I could see the upside of it, and that's kind of how it was when I got my start in investing. Um, I decided that where I was, it wasn't going to be beneficial to my future because at that moment, I was mostly just coming home from work, getting on Netflix, watching the newest thing or whatever, media platform that was available and, playing 2K. And, long term that isn't productive or, that doesn't build wealth. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't have the vehicle to get me there. And so when it was brought to me, the idea was brought to my head some way or another. God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself is what I call it most times. I just tapped in and I started to ask questions and I started to research, and eventually, an individual brought the idea to me to join a platform that would teach me everything I needed to know. And although it may have been, a little bit more expensive than just taking the stairs and like learning it on my own and doing my own self-education for the most part, I still had to put, tons of work in to like really watch the videos, to, educate myself on what technicals are, what fundamentals are, learning the language of trading, learning the language of investing. And then from there, just continuously build on that and build the relationships with individuals and, just continue to push forward. And the more I asked the questions, the more I grinded, the more I seek the growth, the more, information just became more available to me. It was like it was easy. It was almost like it was just coming to me in an influx, and I was able to retain it. And so, you know, taking the first step is always the most important thing, but also having that momentum to continue to push forward, because you can take the first step and then be done in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But you got to have that momentum. You got to have that drive, that hunger to continue to push forward and realize that, it's something out there better than just what I'm doing every day. And even if that's not investing in stocks or cryptocurrency, that could be investing in real estate. That can be investing in you buying yourself a laptop and getting on Udemy and buying a $20 or $50 course that's going to teach you how to get your Cisco certification, or that's going to teach you how to learn how to build a computer. And you can go from there, building and selling computers or whatever you want to do. Is just amount of investing in yourself in some shape, form, or fashion that'll yield you a better return than just coming home and hopping on a game or hopping on Netflix and not doing anything with your time. So that's something that I had to realize. And once I realized that, and once it was in front of me, I took that risk, and it just worked out from there.
I feel like certain people have to. I feel like it's different type of people. We know how important investing is and how much it can change people's lives. And I feel like it's two types of people are like not just these two. It's the people that have to see you do it, and the people that come along with you and do it together. Okay, so I guess my question would be to you, like, even during your time, did you have like an example of what it could be, or like so for instance, when we hooping, we know we can. Like, when you say be like Mike, right? Mike showed us we work hard, play hard. We can get that jumper, technically,
No
what
question.
they say. But it was it something, someone, or something that kind of, it's like for me, I've been in the financial industry since I graduated. So I kind of knew what it could do based off what I saw in the industry. So what was that thing, or if you're the type of person that need an example or some kind of goal setting, or even I guess what I'm looking for, some kind of standard or some kind of road path that say that you can make money in the stock market, you can create generational wealth in the stock market or the crypto or buying assets. Um, what was that for you?
Yeah, most certainly. Like I said, bro, I was involved in a company that would teach you, the caveats of trading, and mostly trading, because it really wasn't investing that I was learning. And trading is a lot more different than investing, because if you don't have a plan, you're not going to be a profitable trader. And it's the same thing with investing, and you can be a profitable trader, but still not be profitable long term if you don't have a strategy. You could be making money and spending money all the same. But when I was within this platform, trading and investing kind of go hand in hand. It's just trading is a lot more short term. But whenever I was in this platform, I had individuals that I kind of, watched, and that I kind of, paid attention to see, the results in regards to like what was the potential, but I didn't have anybody that worked closely with me hand in hand, somebody that I can say, okay, they got what I want. It was more or less just me getting the information on my own, me figuring it out on my own, and me putting the work in to the point to where I can understand it and learn the language, because once you learn how to speak the language, it just get a lot more easy. And then you can communicate with other individuals that speak the language, and then y'all can get a better understanding when the both of y'all are able to understand each other and understand, what each other is saying in regards to whatever y'all are talking about, whether, it be investing or anything else. But it's a language it's a language involved with every type of industry. And when you learn how to speak that language, you can develop relationships with other individuals that'll propel you to another level, because it'll allow you to develop new ideas and see a different side of the coin other than your own. And so that was just something that I kind of had to learn on my own. I didn't have anybody to work closely with me hand in hand, but I did have individuals that I could see that had success within this industry and the same type of success that I wanted. Kind of like how you go on YouTube and you'll see an Ian Dunlap, or you'll see a Mark off of the come up. Yeah, Mark Monroe. I couldn't think of his last name. Thank you, bro. Bless that man. But shout out to Mark Monroe, man. But yeah, but Ian Dunlap, Mark Monroe. So you can see those individuals. You can see the success that they have. You can go on their platform, YouTube, and you can, see their journey. You can see the stuff that they're talking about, and you can learn from them. You can actually profit from the information that they're giving for free. But you don't have a one-on-one relationship with them. You're not able to stand on their shoulders and be able to say, okay, I went from this point to this point to this point because they told me to do it. It's more or less just, you on the outside looking in. And so that's kind of what my situation was. I was in this very large platform, but it was just a lot of individuals that had major success. And I just tapped in with all of them, and I learned as much as I could from every different perspective, because everybody was different. The way everybody traded was different. The way everybody saw the market was different. And so it's always good to get as many perspectives as you can, because it'll allow you to be able to see the market in a different way and not just be biased. And so that's kind of what my journey was. But one individual that really helped me a lot, he not on YouTube or nothing like that, but man, like probably one of the most informative people I know in crypto, and like really put me on in regards to crypto and got me excited and got me into space. There's a dude named Curtis Cobain, but he's on that platform, and man, he's cold with it for real. But that's how my start was. I didn't really have anybody that I could like look over their shoulder and see how they did it. But I was kind of like at a distance, and I was able to watch from a very, very far distance. But I learned a lot from that. And sometimes that's just your course, and that's the course that I had, and that's what I took. And, I learned a lot like that though.
Um, I was just gonna say, if you're that type of person and you watching this video that you need some kind of proof, like I've always been a numbers guy, proof, stats, and stuff like that. Make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe, and get the notification because we will have videos showing you what you could have did the last 5 years with just $25 a paycheck. So make sure you
Most
tap in and subscribe to that. My next question is, why do you think people don't invest? Especially when you kind of coming from where we come from, why you think people don't invest?
um, I think a lot of people don't understand the value of delayed gratification, and
Mm-hmm.
and I fall victim to that sometimes too,
Right.
because it's kind of the way we raised in a certain, to a certain regard, and especially if you don't have anybody that you can touch, and you can touch them and you can say, I know this person did this. You're not gonna be as quick to jump into something when you haven't actually seen the results yourself. And so, those two things I feel like play a major role in the fact that, like, a lot of people from our community don't really invest, is because, they don't have somebody that they can reach out and touch and say that my boy did this or my girl did this. And, so I'm rocking with it like that. And, just delayed gratification in any type of investing, like whether it be, going to school or, like I said, buying a course on Udemy and just riding it out for 3 months to get your certification so you can be a technician or, start your engineering career or whatever you want to do. Because it's a lot of information out there and a lot of different things that we can tap into that will put us in a position to be better and just allow us to bring more value to the marketplace in any type of industry. And I think a lot of people don't realize the true power in delayed gratification. And that has a lot to do with it. And so when you think about long-term investing, it's delayed gratification times 10, because a lot of them positions you're not holding, a lot of them positions you're holding for, 5, 10, 20 years, depending on what your outlook is. And so you got to have that discipline. You got to have that, the understanding to say, okay, I know that in this amount of time, I'll be set and I'll be in a better position than I am now. And so I feel like those two things play a major role in the reason why people don't invest, and not even in just stocks or crypto, bro, but it's just like, anything, like putting the time in to educate yourself and, having that discipline to just stay the course. I feel like delayed gratification and then having somebody that you can touch to say, okay, they did that. I feel like those two things play a major role in the reason why people don't.
Yeah, that's real. Because I feel like as well, it's cool to be a consumer, right? Um, and like I hate when people say I'm chasing the bag, I'm chasing this bag. I'm like, bro, you need to be chasing these assets. Forget the bag, bro. Like it just we running to chase this bag just to pay bills, or we getting this money to to chase the just to get in more debt, or to buy this car, to buy these rims, to buy these speakers. I'm like, that those
Yeah,
are liabilities, bro. Like that don't make you a boss because you got a car, or
no
that's a
question.
depreciating asset. Unless you just paid it off, it's still depreciating. And just knowing it's too cool to be a consumer nowadays. I feel like, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's like that on purpose, but we just have to know it's something better for sure. Get into the space of investors, you have to find yourself. You have to find out who you are, and because there's so many ways to make money investing, right? It's so many: day trading, swing, long term, XYZ, crypto, forex, um, real estate, all that stuff is so many ways. So whenever you get in the space, so if you just beginning and you learn all these different ways, don't set your way to one way. Try to get a little bit of everything so you can understand all the different types of trading and investing. And that comes to my next question. Like, what type of investor are you? If you had to describe yourself in a dictionary as an investor, what type of investor would you be? What would be a definition?
Investing long term for sure. I'm talking, 15, 20 years, like no doubt, because in the long run, that's going to give you the most bang for your buck. I heard Ian say one thing, like, shout out to Ian Dunlap. I heard him say something on Market Mondays one time when he was explaining the music industry. And he was talking about how when artists, they get locked up, most of the time when they sign their deals coming in, like new artists, they getting locked up for 4 or 5 albums. That contract is years, and it's because like the record labels even realize that long-term investing is the way, that when you're able to hold an asset for a long time and you're able to see the growth on that asset, that's going to give you more of an upside than, just a quick one and done song. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine, back in 2011, 2012, when new artists was coming in at that time. And you had like, Wiz Khalifa, you had J. Cole, you had Kendrick, Drake was already in the game, but you had those artists. Now, you also had Trinidad James, though. And Trinidad James had one of the biggest songs of the year. He had All Gold Everything. You know what I'm saying? And they signed him. And that was a short-term play because he didn't pan out to be the artist that they assumed he was going to be. But they, and I think that was like Atlantic or something like that signed him. But Atlantic also got Wiz Khalifa. And so you see like the long-term growth, like, yeah, you're going to lose some and you're going to have those short-term plays, but the long-term play is the one that's really going to get you the bag that's going to separate give you that separation that you want, that wealth that you want. So like the short-term plays, the Dogecoins, the GameStops, all of that is cool. But you want an asset that's going to appreciate long-term, something that's not going to just live off of hype, something that you can pass down to your children, something that's going to allow you to retire. And it's just crazy that the music industry and their concept, their formula even correlates, with the stock market, with real estate, with any other type of industry. Whatever you want to do, it's investing in long term. And so that's my plan, for my crypto assets, for my, stock security assets, is to hold long term, 15, 20 years. And, as far as trading goes, I'm more of an intraday. I take a position, and it's usually whenever I trade a position, it's usually going to be that entire day, maybe spanning into the next day or the day after that. Because I want that entire swing.
Gotcha.
I want the whole thing. So, but yeah, intraday on trading, and for investing, definitely long term. That's the way for sure.
It's an interesting point that you said about the about the rappers, because I was just sitting there thinking like, dang, you know, let's say for instance, the John Morant, his contract. Whenever them young they're thoroughbreds like Zion or even Ja, I ain't gonna put Zion in the conversation because he got to play first. But like for Ja, in order for
Yeah,
them, that's an asset, right, to a team. They bought a contract. They don't buy that contract, give them a contract for 1 year or for 6 months or for 2 days or 3 games.
yeah,
They get the asset for what, 4 to 6 years after their rookie
mhm,
contract, and that's because the asset is going to grow. Imagine how much money the Cavs made off of LeBron rookie year contract and his extension, or even Jazz, even at this point, like he's still worth what more than what his contract is, because that's an investment. And over time, just like you
yeah.
said, there's gonna be times where you invest in. I ain't gonna say Andrew or who's a buzz in the NBA. Um, can't think of one right now.
Uh,
I say right now, Zion in the bus. He ain't played.
We ain't gonna throw him under the bus anyway. You know what I'm saying? We know they know who they are.
Yeah, y'all know who the bus in the NBA or yeah. So just keep that in mind. I feel like I heard this saying one time. I can't remember where this person said that quick money leave long term consequences. It's no such thing as getting it quick, like that's legal, right? Or if
Yeah,
you do get it, you do find somebody who's gonna flip something, it's not sustainable. I guarantee
yeah.
you, my son portfolio will outperform any gambler in a 10-year horizon. I
No question.
guarantee you, it's proven. Because in the stock market with time and long term, it is set up for you to win compared to betting, fantasy, and all that stuff. It's not set up for you to win. You set up to lose. But in the stock
Yeah,
market, you set up to win. And that's pretty much what made me start investing. It's like it's free money. If you wait for it, all you gotta do is wait for it.
yeah.
Shoot, it's like how long would you willing to wait for $1 million? Shoot, if it take me my whole life, that's fine. I get that million, my son got it now. Then he don't have to wait his whole life.
No
So
question.
for sure, for sure. But next, let me see. So in this investing, man, it's crazy. It's like once you see the value of money, you see the value of time because time is the most valuable asset. And then
No question.
you see as you get older, you start to grow. And my quote, personal quote, I'm gonna make a quote book one day. But my quote is, growing is a decision. It's not something that automatically happens. It's a decision that you want to grow. And my question to you, what made you choose growth?
Um,
And before you start, I just want to say the reason I kind of said that we grew up together is because we met each other in college. We met each other in college, and again we was boys, but we actually did grow to being and being on the outside looking in. We been through a lot of stuff together, and to see that growth and ain't nothing for me personally ain't nothing like to see my brothers grow and to see that grow. I know you had to choose that because everybody didn't choose to do so, but to see you do that and like we kind of chose it together in a sense and to take that step and make that decision. Um, First of all, I want to say I'm proud of you for doing it because it's not easy. Don't some people still in the same mindset of X, Y, Z, right, or high school or whatever, but you decided to grow. And I want to say, what made you make that step to grow?
yeah, yeah. Bro, thank you, bro. Like, first and foremost, I want to thank you and I want to give you your flowers as well, bro. Like you definitely was an inspiration to me in regards to like realizing that, you know, it had to be a shift made. And that's the reason why it's always great to have friends, that are in that have a positive outlook on life and that are working towards something because, even the Bible saying, no man can be an island. You need somebody. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody need love from somewhere. And so, bro, I appreciate you for being a positive influence in my life. Even when things was dark for me. So I appreciate that. But what made me choose growth is just self-preservation for sure, and everybody got it in them. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of are you gonna choose yourself over your circumstance because everybody got problems. And to be honest, nobody cares, in regards to like what you're going through because everybody got their own situations. Like, yeah, we can, we here for you, bro. And we always gonna be in your corner. But at the same time, bro, like you gotta stand on your own 10. You gotta stand on your own 10 toes. You gotta stand on your own 2 feet and be a man at the end of the day and understand that it's more to life than coming home every day and, not doing nothing with your time. It's more to life than going out to the club every weekend. It's more to life than standing in line to buy $250 shoes that you're not going to get no return back on for. Once you put them on, the value of them is over with. Matter of fact, once you take them out the box, because you let them sit outside that box too long, they lose value. That's why people wrap them. So it's like, bro, it's just realizing that, self-preservation, like it's realizing that I got to do something for myself in order for me to survive. Because the more we just continue to work and we're not putting our money to work, the more we're going to continue to suffer. Because inflation is real, bro. And it ain't slowing down. Yeah, it may be slowing down because they're raising the rates right now, but bro, them inflation numbers ain't going below the last high, I'm not below the last. Them inflation, the high ain't going below the last lower high, is what I'm trying to say. So
The price
wherever
ain't
it
gonna go
was
down.
before, right, wherever the high was before, which is if it was like 5, that's where this is gonna be our, like, you know what I'm saying? So the inflation is not going lower. It's not gonna go lower. It's gonna continue to go higher because I guarantee you they're gonna start printing money again. I guarantee, like, we're gonna get to a point in the economy where they're gonna start printing money again. Quantitative easing is gonna happen again because greed is real. And I'm kind of, going off track a little bit, but I'm saying all that to say that it just got to a point with me to where I realized, okay, this is not sustainable. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even to the point to where, like, the partying and all that stuff. It was just the everyday life, going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home, and not doing nothing with that time. I had to realize, like, it's more to life than this. Like, and everything that I want, I can have, but it's gonna take work. And so that's kind of what made me choose growth, is because I realized that I had to bring more value to the marketplace. That's the only way you increase your pay, your compensation. That's the only way you make more. That's the only way you put yourself in a position to be in demand, is if you're adding value to the marketplace. That's what Jim Rohn said. And Jim Rohn is amazing. If y'all don't know who Jim Rohn is, like, go YouTube Jim Rohn. Man, Jim Rohn said, if you're not adding value to the marketplace, then you're not growing. And that's that. And that's essentially what it is. Like, you got to figure out a way to add value to the marketplace. And the only way you add value to the marketplace is if you add value to yourself. And you figure out a way to add value to yourself. You take courses, you go to school, if that's what it looked like for you. Whatever that look like to you, you do that. And once you get that value, you can start adding it to the marketplace. You start adding it to other people's lives. And then you get in demand. And then at that point, you're able to make more money. You're able to put yourself in a position where you're doing better for yourself and for your family, and once you know better, you do better. And so that's kind of where it got with me. Like, I just realized what I was doing, it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't gonna put me in a position that I wanted to be in my 30s. You know what I mean? Because I was in my 20s at that time. And so I realized, like, okay, when I get 30, if I'm gonna continue to do this, I'm gonna be 30 with nothing. And I can't have that because I want to have children and all that stuff. So I'm like, I got to do something. So self-preservation is really what put me in a position where I was like, I choose growth. And like you said, once I realized that, I started to realize, okay, how can I add value to myself? How can I expand my thinking? How can I put myself in a position where I start attracting the right individuals into my life? And I start building the right relationships instead of investing so much energy into the wrong relationships. How do I invest into the right relationships? How do I attract individuals that have what I want into my life? And so once I was able to start asking those questions, the doors start opening to me. And so that's kind of how it is, bro. It's just self-preservation, man, and starting to realize that, it's more out there for us. And once you start asking those questions and once you start seeking that information, the doors start opening. Once you start really seeking it wholeheartedly, you meditate on that. Yeah, the doors open up for you for sure.
That's real. And if you're watching this video and you kind of in that place right now, and you might need someone or a group of people that's positive, because we all know we can be in a group meal or some kind of negative, talking about stuff, just not productive. And if that's you, make sure you comment, or hit me up if you want to be a part of our circle, or like just a part of our brotherhood that's just like just being positive. If you're a female, male, whatever it is, if you need a group of people that's gonna grow in that growth sense, because a lot of times you have to, like he said, surround yourself with people that think like you. It's like, it's no offense to anybody that I grew away from, or I just got on my path and I wanted to be around people and share knowledge on that people on that same path. And if you someone who want to get started on that and looking for like a group of environment, that's something here at the Full Court Invest that we are trying to make sure we have. If you open up a business or you in real estate, it don't have to be by an investment. Or if you just mentally just trying to go to the next level, go ahead and contact us, hit us up because we all in this together. And again, growth is a choice, and and once, like he said, once you start it, it's like a whole new world opened up for you. It's like, man,
Yup.
then you figure out I can really do stuff I want to do, and it's like, man, I'm out here really dream chasing, bruh. Like people
Yup.
talk about it, back in high school, I'm a dream, I can do this. I'm actually doing it. I got a plan. I'm on my way. And I'm gonna get there regardless how long it take. If it's quick, fast, it don't matter. I'm gonna enjoy the journey. But with that growth is I expect good things to happen. I
Yup.
compared to back I expect it. It don't surprise me when this happens. It don't surprise me when I get this. Or when it don't even surprise me when I go through those valleys. Because I know those valleys are meant to teach me when I'm on the peak on the mountain what that's like. So
No,
if you're watching this, please, please, please go ahead and choose growth. Choose growth.
most
All right.
done. Most done.
So my next question is, my boy is the crypto king, man. He know all crypto. I'm the stock person. He the crypto. We kind of go hand in hand. He get me there. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm on my way. But he know everything about crypto. So my next question is, man, how did you even get into crypto so much?
Look, man, don't let pre fool y'all. You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm cool, man. I'm cool on it. Like, I ain't no king just yet. I ain't one of the whales that got 1,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 ETH. But we getting there and we in the
Blue
space for
time.
sure. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah, man. So like I said, my journey started. Through the MLM company I was with. I had a dude in there that I was listening to on a weekly basis. He did about 2 calls a week, live calls where he got on there and he was just giving us the game about what was coming down the pipeline, um, and whatnot. And I just soaked the game up from him, and he had videos on there that he had saved within his platform that you can go into, and you can go watch all of his saved videos. And that's really how I got the game on Fibonacci, and I got the game on Polkadot, and I got the game on just how it worked, how to set up your hardware wallet, how to future-proof yourself with the right encrypted email address. That way your email don't get hacked through your crypto accounts and your exchanges, and making sure you don't keep your money on centralized exchanges or exchanges in general. You want to keep your money in a hardware wallet because that's going to keep your funds safe. Like all of that different information is what I was able to soak up from, Curtis Cobain. I believe I said his name earlier. He's a really great mentor. He's a really great teacher from a distance. And I just really soaked up all the information because I realized that cryptocurrency was the way. It's an asset class that we have access to be able to tap into before the institutional money gets involved. And when you truly think about institutions, when you think about assets in general, there's never been a time in the entire history of the economy, I believe, that the people had the advantage over the institutions. The people had the opportunity to be able to put their money in before the institutions put their money in. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about that, cryptocurrency right now is only worth about $1 billion as a whole. And we talking about every crypto from Bitcoin all the way down to whatever the lowest market cap coin is out there. The entire market and as a whole is only worth 1 trillion. I'm sorry, 1 trillion. 1 trillion right now because it's on a downcline and it's probably gonna go lower. I'm hoping it do, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
at its peak, crypto was at like 4 trillion at the most at its peak. And we're talking about the entire cryptocurrency market. You know what I'm saying? At its peak was 4 trillion. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that, like that's a very low ball number for an entire industry, an industry that's bringing you decentralized finance. That alone is $1 billion industry. I'm talking about you're potentially disrupting banks. You're potentially disrupting, what the entire financial system that banks control, which is loans, which is mortgages, which is, everything that banks do, like yields in regards to, like, if you're doing bonds, if you're doing like anything like that, everything the banks control, everything the banks kind of run, decentralized finance is disrupting that industry. Even cross-border payments, they're disrupting that industry. And that alone is $1 billion industry. And when you're talking about a asset class that, is on a downturn right now, you got to think about all those things. And that's just one. Decentralized finance. You got gaming, you got music that they're tapping into. NFTs is gonna bring forth a whole new type of ownership to the creator, that's gonna allow the creator to have more control over their assets in regards to their music, their art, whatever the case may be. And so when you think about all of these different facets of industries that cryptocurrency is affecting and it's tapping into, and you think about the fact that it's only $1 trillion industry right now, like, the potential is upside. Gold is 11 trillion. Like, I'm talking about something that's gonna, like, potentially pass gold. More than likely it will. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see it not doing that, because you're talking about hundreds of projects that offer something individually to the marketplace. And when you're thinking about that entire industry, that's just like saying the stock market, is not going. That's like saying when the stock market was worth 5 trillion, that it wasn't going to go to be worth 20 trillion or however much it's worth now, because you have a lot of different assets within a marketplace that brings something individual to the marketplace that affects it in a different way. And that's the same thing with cryptocurrency. It's just a different type of asset. It's decentralized. It's not, the majority of them are structured in a different way than a stock is. And that's the reason why nobody really is. Everybody's trying to figure out how to control it, how to put it in a sense to where it's safe for the average investor. And that's the reason why it hasn't gotten the institutional backing that it needs right now. And I'm kind of all over the place. We're going to do a call. We're going to have to do a call on it, bro. I know we got it in the works. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, for sure.
But that's just the reality of it. And the way I got involved, like I said, was pretty much through Curtis Cobain. I saw the future. I saw the potential in it. Like I said before, I'm a risk taker if I can see the upside is greater than the downside. And once I was able to see that, once I was able to understand that, and the only way you are able to understand if the upside is greater than the downside is if you educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't be what they call it, man. You can't have fear of missing out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always going to be another bull run. It's always going to be another opportunity in the marketplace. But you have to be diligent with your education. You can't say, "Oh, I'm not going to have fear of missing out, but I'm going to half-ass educate myself. I'm not going to put the time in. I'm not going to really grind it out so I can make the most of my opportunity, because opportunity don't wait." You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to have that balance. You kind of got to understand, like, I can't be having fear of missing out, but I also have to diligently educate myself. That way I can feel good about the investment that I'm making, and that I don't put my money in and then once I pull it out before I'm able to see my full potential or the full return on my money. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of different aspects that play in and go involved, but that's the whole point of also having a good community of individuals around you that you can bounce ideas off of too. Because if you're a loner and you're in the game by yourself, you're gonna have those moments of lack of discipline that's gonna make you say, "Dang, should I stay in this? Dang, should I do that? Well, let me follow the crowd over here, or let me do that." Especially if you're not educated. So it's good to have that education. It's good to go after the education and figuring out what works best for you. But like I said, that's kind of how I got my start in crypto. Curtis Cobain, he's a really great teacher, and I was able to put myself in a position to where I was, future-proofed and in the space. And I'm still rocking out, bro, for sure.
That's